All right, so we'll let people in as they come in, or if they choose to just watch the video. So this is a Q and A. The session number one is a Q and A. We always have a Q and A to get the misconceptions out of the way, to get your questions coming in. You know, we talk about the theory of subject to, and then we'll get into the practical applications. Okay. So sessions number 2 to 14, and it may go to 20 because a lot of times we have part one, part two, and the sessions get really thorough with information. But the sessions number 2 on, we're actually going to be dealing with actual documents and processes. So this Q&A, this is session number 1. This is mainly for questions and answers. We want you to ask all your questions about this strategy, any questions you may have. How does it work for you? What happens when this happens, this, that, and the other, things about marketing. You can ask us questions about the documents, the tenant buyers, other investors who may buy from you. How do you make money with this? How to deal with the homeowners, how to find them, or rather have them find you, because that's what we specialize in. Okay. So this is a Q&A. Again, this is recording for your benefit because you will be able to watch this and review this in 24 hours. Okay. All the sessions are going to be recorded. All right. So with that said, we'll welcome everybody in. I see we have Fatima with us today. How you doing, Fatima?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Doing great. Now I see everybody's microphone is working. That's why I asked everybody how they're doing to make sure that we got some good audio here. So again, we're going to begin with session number 1, which is the Q&A. So what we normally do when we send you the Zoom link, we're going to send you documents or information related to that particular session. And the reason why we do that, we send it usually the day before, sometimes 2 days before. And the reason why we do this, so you can download the documents or the information and you can read it and use that as the basis of our conversation that we're going to have in the session, and also for your questions and your answers. That's what it's for. So with that said, I'll start this way. Since I sent this off about 2 days ago, has anyone read the information? And does anyone have any questions related to the information sent? Or if you have any questions related to this particular strategy, subject to, and we'll go right into it. All right, so I'm going to assume no one has any questions now. So usually that's how it goes. We have to start. Here comes Morris. He's popping in there. All right. Again, this is Saturday, so this is people's free time to deal with work and also domestic issues that you may have. So we understand if you couldn't make it, but if you do, grace us with your presence. That would be awesome. So, subject to, let's talk about it. So we say the word subject, subject, and the word to, subject to. That's a shortened version for the strategy. The strategy is called subject to the existing mortgage, or sometimes it's called subject to the existing financing. Why is it called that? It's called that because you're actually acquiring a property. Could be a house, it could be even land. You can get land this way too, doesn't have to have a house on it, because all land has a deed. So that's how subject to properties and land are acquired. So when we say subject to the existing mortgage, that means you're acquiring a property or a piece of land subject to the mortgage. That means the mortgage is not going to be paid off when you get the property. You hear that? So there's 2 benefits to that. Number 1, you don't have to apply for the mortgage. Number 2, your credit is not affected at all should something go wrong. Okay. So you're taking the property subject to the mortgage because the original mortgage that the homeowner had is still going to remain with the property when you get ownership, when you get the deed. Okay. So you're going to get the deed. It's going to be a separate deed than the current owner who's on the property. They're going to transfer it over to you or your entity, and we'll talk about that. Could be a land trust, could be an LLC, or whatever the case may be. But they're going to transfer that over to you. But their mortgage that they might have with a Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or some mortgage servicer is going to stay the same. And what you're going to do is that you are going to pay the existing mortgage. You're going to pay the current and future payments, right? That's what you're going to do. in response or return for the homeowner granting you the property. Now you say, who would do that? Who the heck would give me the keys to their house and the deed and walk away and leave me with the mortgage? Well, there's a lot of people who would. And the people who would normally, traditionally do this are people who are in what we call default of their mortgage, pre foreclosure. And there are various reasons that could have happened to them in life why they have to do this. They may have lost their income totally, and maybe they have reduced income, or they have a new offer for employment that's out of state, or they may have domestic, like a divorce issue or something like that, and they're splitting up. So it could be a number of reasons why people would do this. But the bottom line is, those are the people who will do this, because those situations that I just mentioned, they occur every day. People get divorced, unfortunately, all the time. People get sick. People get new job offers out of the state. People also, you know, lose their job, reduced income. These things happen every single day. And when there's no solution to that problem, these people will traditionally foreclose. Now, we're not saying that they have that problem, they automatically going to foreclose. Of course, there's things that they should do. They should talk to their lender to see if there's an option. Be surprised or not, a lot of people do not do that. You'll find out a lot of these people that you may talk to if you decide to go forward with this do not speak to their bank or their lender. They're afraid to, or they don't know what to say. They see the monthly mortgage note coming in every month. Oh, that's just the mortgage company. I don't need to open that. I know I got to pay. Okay. So they can also apply for a modification with the lender. Most people don't know how to do that. And we'll teach you how to do that since you're going to get these properties, right? Or they can get a loan to make up the payments that they missed. And most people cannot do that. So when we talk to these homeowners, we always ask them, did you do every option that you have, you know, at your disposal before contacting us? And most of them will tell you they've tried everything and they're between a rock and a hard place. Now, what option do the people have if they decide to foreclose, if they have no option? None. That means that mortgage amount, which could be 300,000, 400, 500,000, is going to be on their credit for the next 7, maybe 10 years. And they won't be able to get another mortgage. All right. And their credit score, how they got that mortgage, probably had to be in the high 680s to 700 to qualify. That down payment that they put down is gone. Their credit rating sucks. No one's going to lend them any money. They're going to be in a bad position. They might not be able to rent where they want to rent because a lot of landlords do a credit check, and seeing a foreclosure is similar to an eviction in most cases. So there's a lot of things that are negative to them that they want to alleviate. Now, rather than foreclose, which a lot of people do, they take the keys, mail it to the bank, they foreclose, it's done. They're just going to take that hit. But a lot of people now are understanding that there's options, and we're the option. People like you and I and companies like us, we're the option. So we set up ourselves and we market to these people. Okay. We market to them. We let them know that we will take over your existing mortgage. We will make your current, your future mortgage payments. You don't have to foreclose. We'll save your credit, because if you don't foreclose, then of course your credit's going to not tank 100%. It's already tanked by the time they contact us. But when we stop making the mortgage payments, then what happens to their credit? It starts going up. So you're doing them a favor. You stop the foreclosure, you save their credit, you make their credit score go up. They don't have to come out of their pocket, their bank book, their credit cards, their savings to make a mortgage payment, because now they have to move somewhere else anyway, and they have to probably pay where they're at there. So you free them, you know, from this disability, I would say, of financial distress. So in return, the people sign over the house to you. That's right. They sign over the deed to you. You become the legal title holder because it's recorded at the county recorder's office where their first deed was recorded. So it's recorded publicly that you are now the owner. So in return for you helping them do this, they're going to sign it over to you, give you the keys. To a lot of people, that is a great option, because the other alternative is to absolutely foreclose. Even if you give the keys back to the lender, even if you sign the deed back over to the lender, that foreclosure is still on your credit. It's called deed in lieu, but it's still on their credit, and it still negatively impacts them, and their credit score will be down for a long time. and they won't be able to utilize any credit. So people do this all the time, believe it or not, a lot. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't know that this exists. Okay. We've had people who contact us after they foreclosed and walked away. They exhausted all the options. And then they say, oh my God, I saw your website. I saw your marketing. I saw your sign. I saw something that what you do. And I realized I should have called you, but I've already foreclosed and that's it. So a lot of people realize this is a great opportunity for them. They're between a rock and a hard place. Now, the obvious question that may come if you don't have any questions is this. Well, if a person is in such a distress in their life, right, and they're about to foreclose, why don't they just sell the property? That seems like the obvious solution, right? If you're in foreclosure, you're behind in payments, you lost your job, you got to move out of state. So let me just sell the property. That way I won't be in foreclosure. I get my money, right? Pay off the mortgage company. Everything is good. My credit maintains, right? Well, don't you think that if the people could do that, they would have done that? You see, most people, when they're behind in foreclosure, that's the first thing that they want to do. However, we are in a market that's now leveling and even going down. And a lot of markets across the country, we're talking about real estate markets, property values have dropped. What does that mean? That means that if I bought a house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath for $500,000, right? And I owe $500,000 mortgage, right? And maybe I have some equity in it, 550,000, 600,000 when I first bought it 2 years ago. But now today, property values are going down. That's the first thing people try to do is sell it. Now, when they sell it, it has to be appraised because you have to give it some market value. No matter what you want for the property, you have to make sure that you're selling it on the market where it's enough to pay off the bank and put some money in your pocket. So these people, when they try to sell it, they have to get appraised, or the buyer that's coming in, his lender, his bank, they're going to want an appraisal, and they're going to find out that the value of that property is less than what's even owed on the mortgage, not to mention what the homeowner wants to put in his pocket. So in other words, a $500,000 mortgage, the property may be valued at $450,000 or maybe $425,000 or $400,000. So you can't sell it. Actually, you can, but if you do, you, the homeowner, has to come up with that difference. Now, if they're behind in mortgage payments, what do you think? How do you think they're going to be able to come up with the difference to make up that sale, $100,000? They can't even do that if they can't make the mortgage payments. So that's a no-brainer. So this is what happens. Most of the people who are going to approach us and do this, they can't sell their house now. See, this is for people who have a problem. And traditionally, you sell the house to get out of it, but they can't sell now. The house can be sold maybe in the future, weeks, months, years down the line, right? So we take over, we take the mortgage, and we hold on to the property until we, not the homeowner now, because you own the property now, until we can sell it, until you can sell it later on. You get the benefit of it. That's how this works. So you're doing them a favor. You're stopping foreclosure. You're stopping you're making payments. All right. You stopped. Oh, my mic is going out there. I had the wrong mic on, guys. Yeah, you stopped the foreclosure. You helping them. So you're providing a service. All right. So since you're providing a service, logically, they should be paying you because you're providing this service. You're doing a favor for them. Because if they don't do this and they've exhausted all their options, they're going to foreclose. People do this, folks. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And this is structured as a system that we have. This is not just a fly-by-night course where you're going to learn it in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, even a week. It takes about a month, maybe more to learn it, about a month and a half to actually learn everything in the system here. We teach it to you as a system, okay? And since it's a system, it has to be structured as a business. Now, you've heard us say plenty of times, and maybe you've seen on our website, yeah, no credit check, no qualified, no down, no money required to do this. And it's true. It is absolutely true. To do this, there's really no money required. See, you're not going to do what some practitioners are subject to. When they find a homeowner who's in a bind and whatever the case may be, they'll approach them with the same principles that we told you. Take over the mortgage, you sign it over to me, you walk away, I save everything. But they will give the homeowner cash or a check in hand, right, in return for the property. We don't believe in that. We've successfully been doing that. We've been doing this for 23 years, by the way. We're around since the first crash, 2001, the second one, 2008 and on. Okay. So we're one of the few, I'm telling you, few, hard pressed to find them, companies that do this. However, we don't pay for the houses. The homeowner gives us the house in return for us doing what we do. And we're going to teach you how to do this. So this is true. No cash out of your bank, no cash out of your pocket, no credit card debt to finance the properties or buy the properties. Okay. We really teach you how to do this. Now, since it's a business, there are some things you should do as a business. Do you think that someone's going to turn the keys over to you in a property and give you the deed and you don't look like a business? No. So you should have a business structure. It could just be a sole proprietorship if you want, or it could be an LLC, which is highly recommended. So you want to get that, right? You also want to get your tax ID number from the IRS, because people are going to vet you. Now, if they're going to give you the keys and give you the deed to a house and give it to you literally, all right, they're going to look at you. They're going to do their due diligence to see who you are. So you should structure yourself as a business. So that's the cost. The cost is your own business, structuring yourself. And you want to look professional, and people will give you these properties with confidence because they're going to, now everyone can do this. Everyone can, pull up their phone and look for solutions and this, that, and the other and whatnot. So when they go on the internet, they're going to check you out to see if you're a legit business. So that's the cost. The cost is you. The cost is you setting up your LLC, getting your tax ID number, and making your business look legit. As any business doesn't have to be this. Name a business that you guys want to get into. Just think about something you thought of. Yeah, you got to have a tax ID number. You should. You're required to pay tax on all income. You have to have an LLC to limit your liability in case something goes wrong and somebody tries to sue you or something happens in your company and it doesn't affect your personal stuff. You see, you should have these things. And also, if it's a service that you have or product that you have, people have to know who you are, what you do, and how to contact you. So you should have something on social media. You should have a website. This is optional. You could have signs like these, bandit signs on the street, advertising. You can just give out your business cards. You can do networking, word of mouth. But the bottom line is that if people don't know who you are, what you do, and how to contact you, you're not going to be able to sell your service or your product. So yes, there is cost involved here. But that costs to set up yourself as a business, because this is a real business. This is not a fake business, okay? This is a real business. You're going to make real income. And I venture to tell most of you who do this and follow our advice and instructions successfully, you're going to quit probably your day job, your 9 to 5. You're going to want to quit it. Now, we don't advise just jumping off in faith and just quitting your job and doing this, of course. We advise that you work on your job, you study this, work how to do it. And when you get to a certain level that you're comfortable with, the income, because it's going to come pretty quick, all right, then you can quit your job if you want and be truly independent and have a business that you can run. You'll have to pay taxes just like you do now. So what's the difference? All right. But it'll be a business that you're working for yourself. So we structure it as a business, folks, and we structure it as a system. That's what we do. All right. So subject to, again, means we're taking over properties subject to the existing mortgage, which means the existing mortgage remains with the property. Okay, but you get the deed. You guys get the full ownership of the property. You get full ownership. You can sell it. You can rent it. You can demolish it. You can put a new house on it. You can do whatever you want because you have the deed to the property. You're legally allowed to do that as the owner of the property. Oh, yeah. You also can move into it. Yeah. Trust me, you're going to find a house that you like for your family or your friends or yourself, and you're going to be like, man, we got to take over this. And you don't have to qualify. You don't have to go to the mortgage company and give them your social security number, your ITIN, your tax ID. You don't have to give them nothing like that. You don't have to give them a down payment because the contract has already been done from the former homeowner. That's why that contract moves over to you. It's the mortgage that's already in existence, already signed, done the deal. Interest rate is set, mortgage payment set, it's all there. So you do not have to approach the mortgage company, the bank, the lender, or the servicer at all and say, hey, I took over this mortgage. Because when you do that, you know what they're going to want to do? They're going to want you to put a down payment. They're going to want to check your credit. They're going to do all that. They're going to want to put you on the mortgage, making you 100% life. They're going to want to do a lot of things, raise the interest rate. So this is a good way to acquire properties, reducing your risk, because it does reduce your risk. Now, if you go ahead and get a traditional piece of property and you get a mortgage and use your FICO score, your credit, and put 50,000 down, whatever, you can still get a property and you can still rent it out and make some money. All right. However, if something goes wrong, because what's the old law? What can go wrong will go wrong. I think that's Newton's law, somebody's law. I don't know. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Things can happen. So God forbid, I know plenty of real estate investors who traditionally they go get a mortgage in their name. They put the 50,000 down. Right, on a couple of houses. Some of them falter, some foreclose, they lose a few, but their credit's messed up. When you take a house subject to the existing mortgage, did you guys know, God forbid, if you do it wrong or something happens and you have to let the property go or defaults and forecloses after you get the deed in your name or your entity's name, it never goes against your credit, ever at all. And I mean ever, EVER, ever. Why? Because you're not on the mortgage, and that's what they're foreclosing on, who's on the mortgage. Now, who's on the mortgage? The homeowner. Now, we're not saying that that's good for you, bad for them. However, there's liabilities. The homeowner can, be mad at you. He might want to take you to court. So when you do these things, you're going to have a contractual obligation to the homeowner to say what you're going to do and a moral obligation to pay the mortgage payments, right? You're going to have a contract stating that. However, your risk is lessened because if something should happen, God forbid, the foreclosure doesn't go against your credit, only goes against the homeowner's credit. And the homeowner knows that too, full disclosure. So they look at it this way. Let's see. I'm in trouble, can't make my payments. I lost my job. I tried to sell. I can't do that. I got to come to the table with all this money. It's not going to work. I called the bank. They don't want to work it. What do I do? Oh, foreclose. Or take your proposition. We'll take over the mortgage. We'll make the payments. We'll take care of everything. Boom. People would rather knowingly deal with someone who can give them a shot at saving their credit than voluntarily killing foreclose. Because when you foreclose, it's a done deal. Once that happens, the bank takes the property back. It's over. Your credit, you can't go back and say, Mr. Bank, I'm sorry. I have the money now. It's too late. Even if you have the money after the foreclosure, it's too late. Too late. They want the whole thing. So we do a service, but we teach you, again, as I was telling you, not to go with cash in hand to the homeowner or a check. Now, you can do that. You can do that, and you will get those deals, right? However, why should you when you don't have to? That's what we say. We've been doing it for years. I can tell you, and I'm almost done with the proof. I have, because I keep our contracts, but I have to redact them, like certain names and amounts and stuff for people's privacy because they're on these contracts. So once I get them fully redacted, I'm going to show you contracts that we have that go back to the last crash, maybe the one before that, 2004, 2002. You're going to see we don't give any money. It says zero. It even says zero earnest money. We'll talk about that, okay? It even says that, legitimate. People give us the houses and they walk away. You hear what I said? So you're going to be able to do that same thing and take advantage. Now, in theory, sounds great, but you have to have documents. Okay. You have to have documents to do this. You have to have a contract, right? You have to have a contract between you and the homeowner that allows them to, okay, we're going to go into this contract. And when you have a contract, you're going to do something called due diligence. You're going to set a date. Okay, so let's say today's, December the 14th. You may set a date for the end of the contract for January 14th or January 31st, right? That means that's when the contract is actually going to go into effect and the homeowner is going to sign the house over to you, right? So when you have this contract, you're going to do something called due diligence, right? I got to mute somebody. You're going to do something called due diligence, which means you're going to check to see if everything about this mortgage in this house is what it is. So the house is going to be inspected. You're not getting it blindly. The house is going to be inspected. You are going to contact the mortgage company for one thing, to find out how far behind the homeowner is, how much is their mortgage payments, is there a balloon payment, what's the interest. You're going to find out all the things that the homeowner tells you because you can't rely on what them to tell you is true and factual. A lot of homeowners don't know I'm only 3 months behind. And when we call the mortgage company, their sale date is a month away. That means they're 5 months behind. You see, so sometimes they don't know, and sometimes they'll be keeping this from you, thinking you won't take the house. Yes, we've had people who keep information from us so we can take the house, and thinking that they're going to get over it. And they've done it in the past. We've made mistakes, but we'll show you how to get beyond that. But the bottom line is, folks, people would rather take a chance with a company or a person who can do this than voluntarily, absolutely, let me foreclose, give them the keys, lend them, my credit's dead for 10 years. Would you do that? If you were between a rock and a hard place, I'm asking everyone here, Elias, Fatima, Morris, Jacques, Ann, Constance, Yvonne, Justin, Mayoshi, even myself. If you knew that you couldn't sell the house and you have exhausted all your options, would you rather foreclose voluntarily for 10 years and have it on your credit messed up, or take a chance with the company who says this is what they do, they can get you out of that problem? What would you guys do?
I would take a chance.
I'm gonna take the chance.
With that company.
Right. And it's
Definitely
logical,
taking a chance.
intelligent, right? Everyone's going to take a chance. And so the thing is, a lot of these homeowners, they all don't know that this exists yet. Some of them do, some of them heard about it, and some of them are going to see you when we show you how to put yourself online on the internet so they can call you. Yes, we do not advocate you knocking on doors, folder, clip in hand, all that kind of stuff, paperwork, and saying, hey, we heard that you were for. We don't advocate that. You can do that if you want to do that. You don't even advocate calling on the phone. Hey, we heard you're in foreclosure. You got a problem. We can help. Whatever your spiel is for that. We don't advocate doing that. No. We're going to show you and teach you how to position yourself online, because everybody searches. When you want food, this is what you go to, right? Your phone, your laptop, your desktop. When you want to, let's say you need an electrician, you're going to Google it. There's no phone books no more. See, we have to go online to search for our solutions to our problems and our wants and our needs. So these people who are in foreclosure, they have a want, they have needs, they need a solution. So they're naturally going to go online and they're going to type in keywords or phrases related to what they're looking for. Just like when you and I do a search, everybody here has done searching. How do we search? We put in the particular thing, an idea that we're looking for, and then we hope that Google brings the best answer, right? Well, these people are going to do the same thing. And what Google, Yahoo, Bing, all the search engines, and now AI are going to do, based on the customers or the client's query or question, they're going to produce and bring to them the best qualified answer. And it will be you in your area if you position yourself right. Okay? So, again, that's going to be your cost. To set up your business, that's it. To set up your business. You're not going to pay for these properties. You shouldn't. But you can if you want, okay? But we teach you not to do that. What you should pay for is just setting up your legitimate business. And of course, the IRS, everyone knows about them, right? The law is any income you got to report it. So you might as well report it with a legit looking business, and you can get, let me tell you what's another benefit of this, folks, in case you didn't know. Whether you're doing subject to real estate investing or you buy a property with a regular mortgage, the IRS gives you great write-offs. Oh my God, depreciation value. You can literally write off thousands of dollars off your income tax off one piece of property. So imagine having 2 or 3 or 4 of these properties. Yes, you can multiply that and get great write-offs. You may not pay no taxes. So the benefit is awesome. So it's a business that you can use to write off things, such as your phone. Yes, you can, because you use it for business, don't you? Mm-hmm. Your website, you paid for that. It's part of your business expenses. You can write that off. Even your monthly hosting on your website. Even buying your marketing, your signs, your business cards. Whatever you do in your business, you can write it off. So you're going to get a portion of that back. So we teach you to set this up as a business, because that's what it is. It's not a fly-by-night out of the trunk, out of your car. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I started in 2002, yes, you could take literally, I'm telling you, because we did it, a clipboard and knock on people's doors with a pen and have a little rinky-dink business card and say, I have a copy of you in pre-foreclosure, and I think you might need help. And you want to,
whatever. And you can have a wife beater on. I hate that word, but it's a t-shirt. You know what I'm talking about? We wear. You can have that and some jeans, and they will listen to you. They'll talk to you because there wasn't a lot of people doing in real estate investing privately or doing that back in the day. But now people are savvy. They have the internet at their disposal, so they can get information. They can check you out. So be sure. If you do decide to do the door knocking route and calling them on the phone, they're going to want to, let me see if you have a website. Let me see if you're registered with the state. Let me see if you're all right with the corporate commission. You got an LLC, an address, a phone number, an email, not yahoo.com, but a business email. That's what they're going to look for. When they call you, will your phone ring? Does it have a professional voice on it? Do I see your website explaining what you do? Are you in good standing as a business with the state? Pay your tax, all that. They're going to look at that. I would. If I'm going to give somebody the keys and the deed to a house valued at $500,000, $400,000, I'm going to check you out. I'm not just going to, hey, thank you, son, and shake you, because you might not be legit. So they're going to do that. They're going to do their due diligence. So again, I'm saying this to let you know, yes, there is a cost, as in any business. If you were selling widgets, you'd have to have a website so people know to order from you and a product and everything. You have to do the same thing. People are going to look you up. Oh, that's what you do? That's how to contact you. See what I'm saying? So yes, there is a cost, but beyond that, once you get these houses, it's gravy. Yes, I use that word because it is gravy on the potatoes, and that's how it's going to be. All right. So I want you to get excited. And I know I talk a lot. I can ramble. And please, sometimes my speaker goes out. So when you say you have a question, I might not hear you. So you might have to raise your hand or do something. All right. At any time, you can interrupt me with anything I've said to, oh, I have a question on that. Do that, please. Questions are wanted. They're necessary. And they're absolutely great for getting information out to you. All right. So with that said, I think I laid down a basic premise, and we have more questions, I'm sure. This is the Q&A. Again, this is for getting out the theory, the questions you have in your head. How does this work for me? How do we make money? What do we do? How does marketing work? All that. So the first session, we try to get all these misconceptions, because there's misconceptions about subject to. Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute before I let you guys in, okay? So here's the misconceptions. People will tell you, oh, I know, subject to, oh yeah, that's an assumption. You're assuming the mortgage. No, it's not. You're not assuming the mortgage. You're not putting the mortgage in your name. And if you assume a mortgage, you probably can only assume one mortgage or two, maybe in your lifetime, because when you get a mortgage in your name, you're assuming they're going to do a credit check. They're going to look at your debt to income ratio. You might not qualify. So yeah, every mortgage company allows you to assume, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to assume so they can get some money from you, raise the interest rate. So no, this is not an assumption. We do not assume. A lot of realtors think, oh, it's an assumption. I know what they're doing. No, it's not an assumption. I'm not assuming nothing. Okay, just to let you know. So there's a lot of misconceptions. All right. Now, with that said, I'm going to open the floor for questions, comments, concerns, anything. All right, folks. Anybody. Don't be scared. There's no such thing as a dumb question, silly question, stupid question, none of that. Trust me, all questions are good and valid because they bring information and knowledge to you.
So, Mr. Eric.
Yes, ma'am. Is this Miss Mayo?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing this evening, dear?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. I feel
Very
good
good,
that
my
now
pleasure.
y'all are here.
Yes, thank you for having us. But my client actually had asked me on my way out today something about flipping mortgage. What is that?
Flipping a mortgage. Well, what did they exactly say?
To be honest, he's one of my patients. So I think he just bought this house maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his wife is no longer together anymore. So, but I don't know why he just made that statement. But when he asked that question, I told him I'd try to find that information and provide it to him. But if I'm not saying it correctly to where you're able to understand me, I can ask him tomorrow to get clear of more clear of detail, clarity of what it is that he's asking. But he said something about a flipping mortgage.
Now, he was asking you,
yes,
how can you flip a mortgage?
Yes, sir.
About that? Okay. So, yep, that's a valid question. Some people think that's what it is. We don't flip mortgages, which means we don't take mortgages and resell them. That's not what we're doing here.
Okay.
So Yeah, we don't flip
So
mortgages.
that's ba-
Okay,
that's
just like
basically
somebody who's
what
they call flippers, they like wholesalers. They buy it at a lower rate from the homeowner, and they have a contract, and then they sell it or flip it over to another investor, or they get it from a homeowner and they fix it up and then they flip it at retail value. Okay, that's the traditional way of flipping. Okay, both ways you're
Mhm.
putting some money down. We don't do that. However, to answer your questions, you can flip these properties, quote unquote, with the same definition I gave you, if you get them subject to the existing mortgage. Yes, you can flip it. You can sell it to an investor. You can sell it to a tenant buyer. You can sell it to a family member. You can sell it to the public. So you can flip them. You can fix them up if they come with some repair. Okay. Or you can sell them as is. So no, we don't flip the mortgages because the mortgage is that contract that says the person owes, in this case, let's say 500,000, right? We don't flip that. We flip the property though. That's what we do. Okay.
Thank
But
you.
to be clear, when you see him next time, ask him, more questions to get a detailed question so that we'll be able to give a better answer. And maybe that's what he's talking about. I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. And you are new to the subject to course here. We have about maybe 14 sessions or 16, 17 sessions to go. You have any questions based on what I've discussed so far, Mayoshi?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Elias, I know you're new with us as well. How you doing?
Sir, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yes, sir.
I actually had a question. So you said like a lot of times, so like people would give out and come to us, like because if they were to sell the house, they couldn't make a profit off of it, because nonetheless they would have to still give out more money. If we're taking over the mortgage, or we're taking over the house and we have the deeds to it, where do you make your profit off of that if you can't resell the house right off? Is it in renting the house, doing an Airbnb with it? Like, where is it that you get to make your cash flow?
That's a very good question. So the same thing applies to the homeowner. If they could sell the house before talking to you or I or us, right, they would have done that.
Yeah.
Just like you said, they couldn't sell it because they probably have to come to the table. It's upside down, all that kind of stuff. They have to come with money. So obviously, you're right. You make the right deduction that once they turn the house over to us, the mortgage is still the same. It hasn't gone anywhere. The house value, this only happened in 30 days or so, right? It's still there. So how do we make money? So we make money exactly how you said, by holding on to the property and renting it out until the values go up. 2008 was the last debacle, right? And when it went down, it took 10 years for values to go up. 2018, those properties went through the moon, 50%, 70% went crazy. So you may have to hold on to this property for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, depending on the market. And then you can sell it and make the full value. You can pay off the full value to the lender and you make the full value of your profit. Or meanwhile, back at the ranch, since you can't sell it, we're going to show you how we do it. What we do is rent to own. Airbnb is great too. That's short-term rentals. Okay, you have to do a different contract, however. So let's talk about our strategy, which is rent to own, which we think it's a little bit less riskier. Okay, so we do rent to own. That means we're putting someone in the property who has the intention, Elias, of renting with the intent to purchase later on. So we don't just put renters in there. We put a renter in there, which is great. You're still going to make some money, but not enough in our view, right? When you put a renter in there, you or I or us, we have to be responsible for all maintenance, all upkeep, all repairs. The AC breaks, the boiler breaks, windows breaks, locks breaks, mowing the lawn, snowing, everything, removing everything, doing all that. We're responsible. So that comes out of our pocket, right? Yeah, we can pass it on to the tenant buyer, but it's going to be tentatively expensive. And the law states when you place yourself in 100% landlord-tenant relationship like that, and you're just a owner, you're not intending to sell to these people. So you, as the owner, us, we have to maintain those costs. So we teach rent to own, which is a different strategy. You still make money. You actually make triple, quadruple times the money. And the contracts are stipulated that the tenant buyer, that's what we call them, tenant/buyers, are responsible for maintenance, repairs, upkeeps, upgrades, cutting the grass, mowing the lawn, all this kind of stuff. Just the same way when you get a mortgage from Chase, Wells Fargo, whoever your bank is, or whoever your mortgage company is, right? And something goes wrong, you can't call them and say, hey, can you fix the AC unit? They're like, no. Did you make your payment? That's all they're worried about. So you place yourself in the same position like the bank because you're doing a form of what we call owner financing to your tenant buyer. So they're renting with the intent to purchase, and they understand, and it's made clear, full disclosure, that repairs are, for them to do.
Theirs.
Right. So that's how we do it. We make our money. However, another beauty of rent to own versus rent, besides not being 100% liable for repairs and maintenance, is that on rent to own, rather, let's do rent first. On rent, what do you get? Month's rent and a security deposit. Traditionally in the States, that's how they do it. And traditionally, you sometimes can get away with getting a little bit more than that extra month. Sometimes you can. But the bottom line, even if you get an extra month, 2 months, or first and last month in security, that's pretty much the most that you're legally allowed to get for renting. With rent to own, you get the same thing up front. Yeah, you're going to require a security deposit. Because remember, they're renting now at this point, then they're going to own later. So you're going to require a security deposit and first month's rent. So you're going to get that up front, right? You're also going to get something called an option payment up front. See, they're renting with the option to purchase. It's like lease with the option to buy, same thing. So they have two contracts. They're going to have the rental lease agreement. They're going to have the option agreement. So they're going to pay you some money that we don't call a down payment on purpose because we don't want to be construed as a mortgage lender and go into that bag because it will be legally ramifications for you. But we call it an option payment. They're going to give you this payment. You can name it whatever you want. It could be $5,000 option payment to start, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, whatever the market will bear, whatever you and your tenant buyer come up with, whatever you decide to market for and agree with. All right. So you're going to make that up front, security deposit plus the option payment up front. And we'll discuss the benefits of the option payment to the tenant buyer, why they would do this. Some people, oh, they do that. Well, we'll tell you about that. But we're discussing how you're going to make money first. You're going to make money up front in the beginning. Then you're going to make money in the middle. What's the middle? The term of the lease. So let's say your tenant/buyer is renting for 3 years and you take over a mortgage. Let's use the example of $2,000 a month for a 5-bedroom, right? That means that's the mortgage that you're going to have to pay because you promised your former homeowner that's what you would do, pay $2,000 a month to their mortgage company, right? So your tenant buyer is going to, in this case, pay a minimum of $2,300, maybe $2,500 to you. So you're going to make that extra $300 or $500, whatever it is, for the course of that lease agreement. 1 year, 12 months, 2 years, 24 months, 36 months. So you make money in the middle. At the beginning, we talked about, then you make money on this middle, the rental. So you're making cash here now. You see how you already made much more money than a rental?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the lease agreement, let's use this example. It's 3 years. They're renting with the intent to purchase. Now they're going to purchase the house from you because you're the owner. They're not going to purchase from the former homeowner because they're no longer on the deed. They don't have the right to sell or even get any income from it, right? So they're going to purchase it from you. And then you're going to obviously set a purchase price during your option agreement. That's going to have the price of the mortgage. It should have that on there, right? And your cut. So let's say in this case, mortgage was $400,000. Your cut should be anything you want. It could be $450,000, $50,000 on top of that, whatever the case may be. So that's what they're going to buy it from you for. So you're going to make money in the front, middle, and back end, theoretically. That's how it works. So you can see how you make much more money and less money comes out of your pocket. No repairs, no maintenance. They're taking everything. It's like you're the bank. So you're doing owner financing. That's what it really is, a form of owner financing to the tenant buyer. That's how we make money. That's how we do it. And that's how you can take the property, Elias, and don't have to worry about selling it out the gate, because obviously that was the thing you traditionally want to do. Other real estate investors, when they get houses from homeowners, right, they sign a contract, they get it so they can flip it to somebody for some money or sell it immediately. But you can't do this because it's upside down. But to answer your question, I hope I answered all your questions.
Yeah.
So that's how we would do it theoretically. That's how it would work. And that's one of the ways. You can also, Elias, sell it to another investor who's
Right.
waiting for a subject to that they didn't get. And they'll buy it from you too. Yes, Constance?
Once again, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. You can do an assignment to another investor.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. She's
Eric?
absolutely right. And that's lucrative too. We have people who do subject to, and they don't put tenants in the property at all. As soon as they get them, to an investor it goes.
Eric,
Thank
I
you.
have a question for you.
Yes, sir, Jacques?
Just to make a comparison, how many house could I purchase via, I would say, regular financing versus subject to?
All right, repeat that one more time, Jacques.
Yeah, how many house could I purchase via, regular, I would say, mortgage to a bank versus, the subject to?
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to tell you by experience. We're not even going to talk theory here. How many houses did we have the last downturn from 2008 to 2014 or 15, Constance?
We had 123, and then we had 43 that we kept in tenant buyer situations.
Okay, right. So the answer is really unlimited. And each one of those houses, we did not have to sign on the mortgage.
I don't think that's his question, Eric. I think
Yeah,
he's
that's the
asking like the
question.
regular way.
That's his question.
Oh.
He wanted to know
Yeah.
the
That's
difference
both.
between that.
Yeah.
So I was telling him
And
it's
yeah.
unlimited. Yeah. It's
But
unlimited because,
regular way, you can only do 3.
right.
Yes.
At most, even that. Some people nowadays, with inflation and credit standards, you may be able to do 1. Because they're going to look at, if you already own a property between you and your family already, and you try to get another one to get financing and rent it out, which is a good way to make money, right? Then, they're going to do your debt, how much you owe currently, and how much income you have to approve you for another mortgage. And if you try to get a second and third and fourth, it's going to go by not just your credit's got to be good too, but it's going to go by your debt to income. So she's right. It may be limited to 3 at max. But subject to, it's unlimited. Why? You're not qualifying for a mortgage. So you're not talking to a lender about your credit score. You don't have to worry about interest rate because you're getting the interest rate that you decided to take from the original homeowner. You're going to either accept that or you don't, right? You don't put a down payment. So technically it's unlimited. It's a lot that you can get versus a traditional mortgage. Now, there's nothing wrong with a traditional mortgage. Nothing. But our opinion, Constance and I, is this. Things happen across the world, in America, Canada, Africa, USA, Europe, everything, financially. You don't know what's going to happen financially, right? To people. Like we had COVID. We didn't know that just came out of nowhere, right? So financially, you never know what can happen to people who have good intentions. All these investors and landlords who put their credit and their signature on the line and that money to get those houses, they have foreclosed too in the last downturn for situations that they couldn't control. Our humble opinion is that this is less riskier for you because your credit is never on the line. You're not putting huge deposits down for these properties, okay? And you don't have a larger outlay to maintain them if you do it correctly. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's just say, for instance, there was a old couple. I'm just want to say, for instance, because of what's been going on. But let's just say an old couple was having a foreclosure, and they had nowhere to go, and they wanted to rent to own with handing the deed over. Would that be possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's the same strategy that you would use to an investor. So in that strategy, in that scenario that you talked about, it would be the same to us as if an investor came to us and say, hey, I want this property. We sell it to him. We put the deed in his name. He gets it. So you're right. This works perfect. You can market this so many different ways once you get these properties, Mayoshi. You can get the property and you can market to the general public like this. And we've done it. Hey, you want to buy a house now? No credit check required. No FICO score required. Because what you're going to do, you could sell them the house. Even if it's upside down, Mayoshi, even if there's no equity in it, you can sell them the deed to the house, right? And they can move right in, even if they had an eviction on their credit, even if they had a foreclosure on their credit, they can move right in because you're not dealing with the lender checking credit. See, subject to is a personal contract between us, you, and the homeowner. So you're making a deal with the homeowner. You're not making the deal with the bank. Bank's deal has already been done, like I said, with the homeowner. So yes, you can do that. So if you do find a couple that says, for the instance, I think this is what you were saying, I have an eviction, my credit is bad. I tried to get a house. I can't qualify. They might even have the down payment to the bank, right? And the bank says, no, your credit's messed up. You got to fix it, even though you might have this 50,000 down or whatever, and they can't move in, or they might not be able to rent a 5-bedroom that they need for all their children and their family because of an eviction, right? This is perfect. You can market this to those kind of people, and they will give you the money, and they can move right in. Do exactly that. You can sign the deed over to them, give them the house, give them the keys, as long as you get what you want. Now, you can sell it straight to them as you would do an investor, or what I would do is do rent to own, because rent to own is like a trial thing for them and you. Because if they're not a seasoned investor, they may mess up the deal. Most investors, they know subject, I know what to do, keep the mortgage going, I got a contract, everything, put somebody in it, they make their money. But to give this to people straight up, you can do it, but you have to make sure they understand what they're doing. Okay. So what I personally would do, I say, I tell you what, we'll sell you this house, but we're going to put you in as a renter first. You're going to do rent and you're going to own it later. This way, you get some skin in the game from them. That same down payment they were going to give the lender who turned them down, you're going to take that same down payment, you're going to get it as an option payment. That's their skin in the game, right? They're going to be able to do whatever they want to the house. The woman that likes, a lot of times they go to the kitchen and the bathrooms. Oh, I want to change all the cupboards. Oh, I'm going to put this in the bathroom. I'm going to change the tile. I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to put a sunroom. They can do all that. He can put a man cave. They can add additions to the house, all that, because they're not renting. They're renting with the intent to purchase. So I would use that trial to get them in, because you're going to make more money. And in case they fail at the end, no loss to you. You still get your house. Do it again. Okay.
Gotcha.
So yes, you can market it. That is another way to market these houses on the disposition side. And one thing you'll like about us, we're not only going to teach you how to acquire the properties from the homeowner, get it on the contract, how to hold it in a land trust, how to secure it, how to get the insurance, all that. We're going to teach you how to make money and dispose of it. So we're going to give you the contracts too. We're going to give you the rent to own contracts. We're going to give you the lease contracts, and we're going to teach you how to do it. So many mom and pop investors or landlords, or even professional investors, when they first started, they made so many mistakes. A lot of them get their lease agreements and the lease option agreements from Staples, Office Max, on the internet, stuff like not knowing what they have. You want to have things in there that protect you. So the contracts that we're giving to you are all protection for you. They're based in your favor, the lease agreements, and also the contracts from the homeowner, all that. So yes, to answer your question, I know I'm long-winded, but this is Q&A after all. We want to get as much things out because I'm trying to say as much as I can to garner some questions. Okay? That's what this is designed for, to pull out of you the questions so you can pull out of me and Constance the answers. All right. So yes, that would be a great strategy. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people would do this. What? Because you mean you're not going to check my credit? No, because you give me 25, 30,000 down. That's skin in the game to me. If you default, guess what? You're evicted. Boom. Now they have a house. Good way to make money, Mayoshi. Absolutely.
Thanks.
I'm going to teach you how to do this. Thank you for that question.
My pleasure.
Anybody else have any questions? Mr. Justin, how you doing there, my good man? I'm sure you have a few questions or two. I hope you should. I know you're very much interested in real estate investing. We talked about this in the past. Maybe you stepped away for a minute. All right. Miss Fatima, Mr. Morris, Miss Ann, Miss Constance. All right. So I guess everybody, no one has any questions. Anybody, don't be afraid. Look, the questions you ask are great because they're going to allow us to pull out of us. Sister Yvonne, how you doing? all the great answers. And we're trying to get all this out right now before we begin the full-fledged course, which starts in session number 2. Session number 2, we're going to go deep into marketing, because no matter what you know how to do, if people do not know how to contact you and who you are and what you do, you have all the contracts in the world. You know this back of your hand. You're not going to get no properties. You're not going to make a good income for you and your family. So you have to market. This is the different day and time. And that main marketing tool is the one we're on, the internet right now. Right now, don't sleep online. Everybody's who's making any kind of money, whether small or large, advertises or puts their name out there to be found. Even if you don't have money to do a large advertising, you have to have your social media or your website geared to the point where people type in certain keywords and phrases, at least the search engines are going to try to direct them to you or the nearest answer to the person's question. And so that's how you're found on the internet. And some people are real good at it. There's a strategy and a skill called SEO, search engine optimization, which we can do for you too if you have a website, whether you build it yourself or have us build it for you, because that's critically important. A lot of people think, oh, we build it and they will come. No, they will not. I can tell you. Like our first website, I think went up during the second crash, 2008. A lot of people weren't privy to computers then. The internet wasn't big. Online wasn't too prevalent, whatnot. But we were. We had a business, brick and mortar, so we had computers and everything. We put our website up. We knew how to do SEO because we were on it when Google first came out, and we were probably on Facebook before anybody else was. There was remember those old social media things that we didn't want to talk about? They were existing. We were on all of them. So we built a website. Of course, we didn't have a lot of good skills, but we threw something up. It was really crappy. I'm going to tell you. It was really crappy, right? However, the phones would not stop ringing. The emails would not stop pinging. And we knew other similar investors who paid thousands, hundreds of dollars for a website, but it was cricket, cricket, chirp, chirp. So just because you build it doesn't mean they will come. You have to implement SEO, search engine optimization, which means you have to get your website, your social media, and your presence online optimized to the fullest so that people can find you, and all the search engines, including AI, would direct them to that result or nearest result. Because everybody's on the internet. How many websites do you think is on the internet now? Oh God, maybe hundreds of millions of sites. How many real estate investors are people doing subject to, you think, across the country? God, hundreds of thousands, folks. So you got to set yourself apart. Okay, so number one, you got to put yourself out there as soon as possible because you want the search engines to crawl you, to index you, categorize you, right? Ahead of time, not late in the game. And then you want to be optimized properly. So when people type in keywords, phrases, searches, that it's directed to you. It's going to take a minute to get there. It's not overnight, but you have to do this. Same thing with your social media. You should have a Facebook page. We're not talking about personal Facebook here. If you have a personal Facebook page, Facebook allows you to create a business page. You should have a business page for your business, a business page for your Twitter, a business page for your Instagram, a business page for your YouTube, business page for your LinkedIn, you name it. You should be on all, this is what I suggest, you don't have to be, on all platforms. Why? Because everybody on those platforms, somebody has a house. You think those people are not homeowners on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter? And if you only concentrate on one, yeah, you'll get that group, but you're leaving food on the table. I say have your business on all platforms. Now, you're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I got to put. No, it's not technically a lot. What you need to do, you can post once a week on each platform. So you got to do. Post what you post on your website and have it linked on each platform. When they click a link, goes to your website and vice versa. This does two things. It allows, number one, Google will give you more prevalence because they see you have links. See, each social media page is a link on Google. Let's use Google for the search engine. It's a link, not just your website, but you got LinkedIn, you got all these links. So the more links you have, the more credibility they give you, the more authority they give you because they think, oh, he's got a lot of links, authority, you know what they're talking about. It works just like that. It's an algorithm. that looks at how many links you have, how many backlinks you got. Are people liking your page? Are people coming there? All those kind of things you got to do, because we're structuring this as a business where you want to attract people. Remember, we're going to teach you a little bit different rather than cold calling and knocking on doors. And remember, you can still do that. However, we advocate people calling you. Why? Because we believe if they found your proposition to take over their mortgage and help them out, they're halfway sold. By the time they call you, I saw your website and I saw you did. See, they know, they're telling you what you do. They're like, can you answer this last question? How quick can this happen? That's pretty much what it is. See, they're halfway sold. Rather than you cold calling, because there are going to be people who are in pre-foreclosure, who are behind the payments, who may not be receptive to your offer. Who maybe, I got a new job, I'm going to make up the payment. Mom's going to give me the money. I just hit the money in the casino, whatever. And they have a plan and they're not receptive to you. And you cold call those people who are legitimately behind in payments or knock on their doors, they may not be receptive. We believe that when people seek you out, they're halfway sold. They're looking for a solution. And when the solution they're looking for, you present it and they like it, guess what? It's probably going to happen sooner or later. All right. So we teach you how to do that. We don't believe in knocking on doors. Me and Con, we don't knock on doors. Now, I didn't say we didn't do that in 2002 because we were green. We didn't know what was popping. People came to the doors with guns. Yeah. Mortgage company, I'll check my house. Oh, it was crazy. Sicking the dogs on us, not answering the door. We'd have to leave the letters catched in between. It was crazy. So, and then the few people that we talked to, remember, you're knocking on doors and talking to people in their personal homes, their abodes. They might be watching TV, eating dinner. It might not be at the right time. Who knows? You're intruding upon them. They don't know you from Jump Street. You call them off at dinner time about buying their house. They're already traumatized by losing it. They're eating dinner with here you see the cold calling and knocking on doors. You can do it. There's people who are good at that. I'm not knocking that. But we're going to show you and teach you how you should have people find you, seek you, because they are in a position that they're looking for. See, these people are looking for help. They're not sitting back. Well, just wait for the foreclosure to happen. They're not doing that. No. They're not doing that. They're going to seek, because everyone knows the answers are online and you need to be found. And we teach you how to position yourself to be found. All right. And I'm running it like this because I'm trying to get everything out since there's not a lot of questions. It's cool. It's cool. I'm just trying to get all this out so you guys have an understanding of what we're going to go through in the next 14 to 17 sessions. Each session is going to be a little different than the preceding one. Each session is going to accompany the documents. Now, you're going to get real documents, not no fuddy-duddy. And of course, when you finish the course, if you're making payments, when you finish the course, you get the full, what we call real-world documents. If you pay up front, you get all the real-world documents up front. But we're still going to give you a simile of all the real-world documents called training documents. Same documents, but they're training. All right? We're going to show you not only how to do a contract subject to between you and a homeowner, but we're going to go through that contract with you. So you're going to understand it. Yeah, you're going to know everything about that. Because let me tell you, if a person is going to sign the house over to you and give you the keys and all that kind of stuff, they may have some questions. I would. And you should be able to answer those questions in that contract confidently. That's going to help you win them over. Okay. Now, if you don't know anything about paragraph 3, page 2 of a contract, if you're taking over their mortgage, you can't answer that. I'd be like, well, shoot, maybe you don't know what you're doing. I don't have no confidence in you. So we teach you with these contracts to understand them, to use them, right? And exude the same confidence that we're going to exude to you when we teach you to the client. So you're going to have a valid subject to contract. We're going to teach you how to acquire the property and hold it correctly, because if you're a real estate investor, there's going to be a target on your back. Yes, there is a target on your back. Why do I say that? Because you own some property. And all across the world, especially here, this is a litigation place. Everybody's looking to sue, make some money. They can fall on your property, whatever. You have what they call, quote unquote, in the world, haters, envy, jealousy, family, friends, business associates, anybody. Lawyers, they're looking hungry. Their client, you fell on the what? Let's see what he owns. All that kind of stuff. So you have to be protected. This is it's a real business. Just like any business you own, they advise that you get some kind of business insurance liability, right? Well, you should do the same thing here. because you don't want to get those properties, put somebody in it, make it some money, and someone takes that all from you and they didn't do any work. And your hard-earned money and work goes into the property, and that's your income. So we teach you how to protect your property. So we teach you how to take the property, and you're going to have the homeowner help you with this. They're going to sign something, right? And they're going to sign something called a land trust document. We're going to teach you how to use that. Not only are we going to teach you how to use it, we're going to give you the document. We're going to train you and teach you how to use the document, how it benefits you. So you're going to acquire the property through that document and hold it. And it's going to privately make you the owner, but the public doesn't know about it, shielding you from public eyes of how many properties you own, what's your value, which is intelligent to do. Did you know that's done in the real world with a lot of investors? So we're going to teach you how to do that too, okay? Now, we're also going to teach you, once you hold it in that land trust, you can sell it in the trust too, which means you're going to save money on taxes and transfer fees and all those other kind of closing costs. So it's going to benefit you, all right? So we're going to give you those documents. And like we said, on the lease side, on the selling side, we're going to show you how to flip it and sell it to an investor, lease option it, lease agreement. We're going to give you the contracts, run through all that. And of course, in between it, there's some other things. You need an authorization to speak to the mortgage company, because you can't rely on the homeowner to tell you everything. They may be forthcoming with everything, but they may be withholding some stuff. So you want to know, because you want to make a good, informed decision before you take this property. Yeah, it might be great. Your heart is beating. I'm going to get the keys, the deed. Yeah, but you want to make sure it's financially feasible for you. Otherwise, you've taken that person's problem. So we're going to show you how to take that problem, make money, but you have to make sense to you. It has to be financially feasible. So if someone says, yeah, I like what you do, Elias or Fatima or Morris or Constance or Ann or Jack. Yeah, here's the keys. Here's the deed. Take it. Thank you so much. I'm moving. I'll see you guys later. Here's the papers and all that. You got the deed. You own it. Is it a good deal? May not be a good deal. What if you cannot rent that property on a rent-to-own basis for the amount of the mortgage and more to put money in your pocket? What if you take a property that the mortgage is, let's say, $2,500 a month, and you do a rent range in the area to see what rentals can be? You find out all rentals for that same square footage, that 3-bedroom, is only $2,100 a month. You might not be able to make any money. You might be stuck. What if there's other things going on with the property? What if it needs repairs? Don't be afraid of repairs. We'll show you how to work that too, but you got to think about these things, right? What if there's a balloon payment in the mortgage, like 5 years from now, they got to pay $100,000, right? What if it's a variable interest rate that now it's low, but after 2-3 years, it goes high, 7-8%, and you're paying $1,000 more in a year or two? See, there's so many things that you got to look at. Plus, you want to know what you're getting. You're going to have the deed. You should get it inspected, right? So we're going to teach you how to do these things too. And also, you're going to get something called a limited power of attorney, a legal document that in America you could use to speak to the mortgage company without being an attorney, without being a lawyer. You can do this. You can have legal power of attorney between anyone in this country. Your friend, an associate, your mother, your father, your spouse, whatever. It's legal to do. That means you're authorized, and they're going to get it notarized, that this person can speak, inquire, and do things on my behalf with what I'm telling them they can do. And in this case, it's the mortgage. We're going to show you how to use that, how to file with the mortgage company, and find out if what you're getting, this is before you close now. So we don't want you to make too many mistakes. This is what you're getting, and if it's a good deal. Once you're satisfied with what the mortgage company says, it sounds like it's a good deal, you're going to make money, this is what they're behind, this is what I got to pay, this is what's going on. Then you're going to get an inspection. Yes, it's going to be your house. You're going to have the deed. You're going to be the owner. You should know what you got. What if the roof needs repair? What if there's something wrong with the electric or the plumbing? I'm not saying don't take those properties, because you can still take them and make money, and we're going to show you how to do that too. But at least you should know what you're getting. At least you should know what you're getting. If you buy a traditional house, you're going to do an inspection, right? If you do a regular mortgage, you're going to do an inspection. You're going to want to get it inspected. Matter of fact, the lender who's lending you the money is going to require it. See, you got to know what you're getting. So we want the same thing. We want to know what we're getting. Even if there's repairs, see, don't shun that. But it'll give you the decision-making opportunity and information. No, I don't want to deal with that. See, you know what you're getting. So we're going to show you how to do that as well. Give you the documentation for it and the wherewithal, right? So we don't just leave you hanging. You're going to learn this theory. You're going to learn how to do it, and you're going to get the documents. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make some money, and you're going to help people. You're going to help that homeowner or the former homeowner, right? Come out of foreclosure. You're going to save their credit. You're going to save the day. You're going to be a hero to a lot of people. And you know what happens when you help that first homeowner? They know other people too who's in that situation. Word of mouth in this business goes fast. Hey, I heard you in foreclosure, John. What happened? Oh, this company took on my, what? Oh man, I heard Joe foreclosed down the street. See, now these people are gonna listen to what the success stories of these other people rather than foreclosed. Everybody know what foreclosure is. Word of mouth is gonna go around. So you're gonna help that person or those people or that family. Then the second party you're gonna help is you and your family, right? You're gonna make an income. You're gonna make a good, decent income. And you're gonna acquire real estate, which is gonna add to your wealth. It's gonna add to your assets. What's the first thing when you decide to determine someone's wealth? Their assets. What they got in the bank, how much property they own, how much land they own, cars. That's your wealth. The beauty about Subject 2, you're actually getting properties that you didn't sign a mortgage on, but you're going to be the legal ownership. Let's say you have 10 of these Subject 2 properties. That's your legal asset. If they total $2, $3, $5 million, that's your wealth because you're the owner. That's your stuff. Okay, so you're going to help you and your family, and you're going to make money doing it. You're going to make money doing it. And then you're going to help a third party. The third party is the tenant buyer. You're going to put them in the property. You're actually going to give people home ownership, albeit a different route. Home ownership. You're offering that. But you're going to be the owner. You're going to do owner financing, and you're going to give them home ownership. You're helping three people, three parties. It's a win-win-win situation. So we're going to show you how to do all that, the marketing and all that. Right, Constance? All right. Constance is my partner.
Right.
My wife. Business person, consultant, all that. So she's been in this business with me a very long time, and she can answer all the questions that you have in your mind just as well as I can. And her perspective is excellent because, you know, we all have a particular perspective. So her perspective is going to be a nice female, balanced, other side investor perspective, which makes it balanced. All right. So with that said, I think we took up a great amount of time, and we do appreciate you guys coming in. If there's any questions, now is the time. This is the last call. Y'all been to the club before when they say last call? I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know about that. But anyway, this is the last call for questions. So let's do it. If you have any questions, any concerns, any comments, now's the time to ask. And if you don't, that's cool. This is going to be made available to you on Monday for your review. All right. And this is the first session. The first sessions always start like this. We try to get the theory, the questions, the answers, everything out here so you get the basic concept. And then we're going to go into it in session number 2. We're going to talk a lot about marketing, a lot about it. All right. Because marketing is very important. If they don't know who you are, what you do, how to get to you, it's not going to happen. All right. So with each session, you're going to get the live Zoom link. You're going to get the documents. Session number 3, we're going to talk about pre-contract. How do you deal with the homeowner prior to? They answer the phone, little script. What do you say? How to weed them out? All that kind of stuff, you know? And then we're going to talk about the contract, how you actually sign a contract. What do you talk about? What do you do? What do you say? Do you contact the lender? Your due diligence? What do you check out? We're going to do all that, all right? And then we'll do post-contract, your due diligence, how you check things out. Then we'll do the contract. Or rather the closing, which is the land trust. Yes, Fatima, you have a question.
Yes, I know you said session 2. That's what I really need, the pre-contract and kind of like the elevator, speech or whatever. What day is that on? What days is the classes? So I know.
Oh, the classes are traditionally on Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Okay, so Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
Now, if we have to postpone or reschedule a class, it'll be the following Saturday or whatever the next Tuesday, Thursday is, or Saturday, okay? We traditionally will not hold classes on a Wednesday, Monday, or a Friday, okay? And sometimes we'll have postponements. That's why you'll see the little text from me, hey, this is a reminder, 5 minutes before the class start, or we rescheduled this, so you'll know ahead of time That's what we use the text for, to give you a reminder of the sessions coming up. If there's a reschedule, there's a postponement, we sent the video to your email. We have some new information for you, whatever the case may be. Okay. All right. So with that said, I'm going to assume no one has any questions. This was a nice session. It
I
was
do have
almost-
a question.
Oh, Miss Mona, how are you doing, ma'am?
What's up?
What's that?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
A realtor sent me a property, and
Mhm.
the owners had to leave quickly because he took a job up north in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So they only been in the house like a year, so they're really kind of like upside down, and it's not gonna really work. Because I did the numbers, it's not really gonna work as a subject to.
Mhm.
I think it will probably work better as a lease option
Okay.
because the mortgage is maybe $200 higher than the rent comps.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So let me get this clear. So when you're saying it'll work better as a lease option versus subject to, are we talking about from the homeowner's side, you getting it from them, or you getting it and then making some money off of the property?
Well, the realtor wants to know what I could do with this property because he has not been able to find any buyers, and the people are still making the mortgage even though they have moved up north, and it's right here in Texas, not far from me actually. And when I did it as a subject to, it's not going to cash flow.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, what you have here, Mona, is what we call a motivated seller. And in
Yeah.
our humble opinion, what makes them more motivated is that they've already moved out of the property.
They was only in the house a year.
It was only in the house a year. They've already gone somewhere else. So
Yeah.
wherever they're at, they're making some kind of rental payment or maybe even a mortgage, who knows? And they're still making the current mortgage payment, right?
Exactly.
As time goes on, they're going to get more motivated and motivated to move this. You said the realtor tried to sell it. She said she got no offers, right?
No, she hasn't gotten any offers at it because they haven't paid much. They don't have much equity.
Right.
Being in a house a year, they don't have much equity.
Okay.
So
And you said it doesn't cash flow.
it doesn't cash flow because I did the rents for that area. It's gonna be maybe like the mortgage is maybe like $200 more than the comps in the areas for as rent.
Okay. And that's a touchy one there because
I know.
traditionally, when you do rent to own, you traditionally can command higher prices than rent if you do it our way, because when we're marketing, we tell people no credit check, no qualify. So you're going to pay a higher premium for the rent, number one. So they know this up front. So when you say it's already $200 off, that means you probably can bump it up to maybe 300. That means you make 100, maybe more. What I would do, because that's going to be the prerequisite. If everything else works out with you, you know what the interest
I mean, it's a very nice home. It was just renovated and everything. It's just he took a job that he couldn't refuse.
Ah, okay. And they want to get rid of the more. Have you talked to the homeowners?
No, I only been talking to the realtor.
And here's the thing. It could be a good deal. Me and Constance.
So I wanted to have something to, because he said he spoke with, quote, quote, an investor. Of course, they wanted to offer a cash offer, but that's not going to pay the mortgage off.
Right.
But he told me I could come. He said he's open to whatever creative that I come up with. He's very open to presenting it to his sellers.
So they're upside down. They have no equity.
Probably 20,000.
Okay. Well, here's an option. First, though, I would, even though you did your proper due diligence to see the rent range, is it under well, it's under contract, obviously, with the realtor. Traditionally, when we get a lead or a homeowner who says, "Hey, I want to do this. I'm in trouble here, this, that, and the other," we usually have them sign a subject to contract with stipulations that this may or may not happen, but we have a tentative closing date. We market the property to see if we have any takers of anybody who can pay the rent that we want. So, if the rent right now is $200 less than the mortgage, we try to market it for maybe 200 to 300 more than the mortgage. See if we get any takers, right? Ask for the option payment. Let them know the benefits of moving into this property. You're going to own the property that you're renting, and you're going to move into it now. There's no credit check, no qualify until you get your credit set 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is later. And see what kind of takers you get. Now, aside from that, I would be talking as much as possible as I could to the homeowner, because they're going to make the decision. A realtor, you have to remember, we have nothing against realtors. I have 2 family members who are realtors, right? And they have to make money. They have to make commission. They have a valid contract between them and the homeowner. They're traditionally not going to let anything get in the way of them getting paid if they can. A realtor pretty much is going to block, I hate to say it, your communication with the homeowner. They may not effectively tell them exactly what you want to do. My thing, I would ask, can I speak to the homeowner? And I would tell the realtor what I'm going to say to them too. And I'm going to tell them, look, I'm going to make them an offer. The house obviously can't be sold. The cash offer you got is not going to pay off the mortgage. So that's not going to happen. You're not getting any takers. They're paying somewhere else and they're paying this, right? They have 20 equity. I tell you what, I'll take over the house subject to the existing mortgage. And that's if the rent range that we talked about pans out. So let's say it did. That's what I would be offering this if it did. I tell them I would take over the house subject to the existing mortgage, right? You wouldn't have to pay no more mortgage payments. And obviously, this is a good deal in the sense that they're not behind in payments. So, Mona, you don't have to worry about no back payments. It's only current and future, which is great.
Right.
So if you can get somebody successfully to do the rent to own for a minimum of $300 more than the mortgage, then it's a good deal. Again, I would offer the homeowners, we take over existing mortgage. You don't have to worry about insurance, taxes, mortgage payments, maintenance, repairs. We take care of all that because we're passing it down to the rent to owners, right? And also, I would offer this carrot. I would say, look, your savings, your checking, whatever you have is paying this mortgage right here. We're going to take that over and free that money up from you. You have about $20,000 worth of equity, right? Yes, I do. How would you like if we can give you your equity, but not now, but we have a contract that we'll sign, right? And that you will get your equity, your $20,000 when we sell the property, guaranteed to get it, promissory note. That's what I would offer. Now, remember, they're between a rock and a hard place. They're motivated. They're already gone. They're making 2 payments where they live and where they have the mortgage at now. You're going to free them of this money. You're going to promise them their equity. You're not going to pay them cash now. You're going to pay it off whenever the mortgage is paid off. That could be 5 years, 10 years, 20, it could be 30 years. Who knows? But it's legal, it's legit. They're going to know and understand that and give that to them. Otherwise, what option do they have? The realtor said that there's no offers.
No.
There's one cash buyer who's going to pay less than what the mortgage is, and that's never going to fly. Mortgage company's not going to take that. You can't do that. They're going to have to just languish and pay the mortgage for months and months and months and months and months until they foreclose or they walk away or something happens. This way, you're offering to take that problem off their hand. And the main thing you got to talk to them about, look, that mortgage you're paying, we got that. We got the mortgage. You don't have to worry. That frees you up every single month. And we're going to give you a $20,000. Not now. We're going to sign a contract, give you a promissory note that it will be paid whenever we pay off the mortgage. Well, when is that? We don't know. If you knew when, you could sell it now too. But obviously, we're not even having a contract, but I can see between you and your realtor, it can't be sold now. It can't. So we don't know. But whenever market conditions allow, because it could be, Mona, after you get that property a year from now, what if something happens and the prices go up? You can sell it.
I mean, it's a house that they recently bought that I could tell that an investor had it previously, and you could tell it was updated. And even at the pictures now, the property still looks superb.
Yes, ma'am. Sounds like a great piece of property, but the value is just not there at this junction.
Right now.
Right now.
And they don't have the best interest rate either. Buying a year ago, they're like at 6.6
Yeah.
6, 7, something like
Eric, I got a comment.
Sure. Go ahead, Constance.
You depending on what area it's in, you may want to do like a rental arbitrage, not like an Airbnb though, like a 1 year lease, 2 year lease, and rent it out by the room, and then rent out the common areas. Give them a laundry room key, charge extra for the laundry room facility. If there's a pool in the back, charge extra for that. If it's in a college town or somewhere like that,
That's actually it's in a neighboring city for me. It'll take me less than 10 minutes to get to the house.
oh, okay. So is it in a tourist area or anything like that, or near a college?
Not near a college, but they've built a lot out here. We have like the harbor where they could go have, have food, or they can go out on the party boat, barge, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it's probably a lot of singles live in that area. And if you can, you could get them in a room. How many bedrooms does it have?
I think it's 3.
3 bedrooms? So
Yeah.
you can rent out those 3 bedrooms for about $1,100-$1,200 a month. I don't know how much. How much is the mortgage?
2,200.
Yes, you could rent it out $1,000, over $1,000 a month, and make a heavy profit. A profit. Sorry, I can't talk to that, but make a heavier profit. And then you can hire somebody to clean it up. You can hire somebody to come in and clean it up like once a week or something like that, and still make a profit.
Even at 900 a month, make 2,700.
Yep.
I mean, that's an option.
Yeah, that is an option. Is it a lot of people actually doing that today, though?
Yes, it's a lot of people doing that.
The co-live, they call it co-living.
Yeah, co-living. Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
saying if it's
That's
free
because
room,
people
you
can't
guys-
afford to pay the full amount themselves, so they have to break it up between parties to do that. So a lot of that is going on. Yes, ma'am.
So are you guys saying, okay, so I get a house like this situation, and so I put an ad out maybe to get rented to 3 different people, individuals of who wants to rent a room? Is that what you're saying in that way? And then charge each person like $1,000, $1,100 per room?
Right, yes, ma'am. Like they used to do back in the day, like Streetcar Named Desire. You remember those old movies? And there was like a whole bunch of people, they live in the same house, but they're not related, but they all rent out them separate rooms.
Oh, that's smart. I didn't
Like a
think about that.
long-term hotel. Like it's like a long-term
Yeah.
hotel situation. And then
Okay,
they
in this
have use
situation,
of, they
how
have
would you-
use of, how much is what?
How would you have an agreement with them?
You do
with
sign a lease just like you would if it was an apartment or anything else. You draft
Each
up a lease
individual? With
for
each
each
individual?
individual. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Right. But it would be different than a regular lease because they're in the common areas. So you gotta put stuff in there like wash the pots and pans that you use. Things that seem like it's common knowledge, it might not be to certain people. You gotta actually write it down. If you put something in the floor, you gotta move it. Just different stuff that you think of yourself that if you was living with someone, you would want them to have the common courtesy to have. So it's different than a regular lease agreement because you want to add things in there that necessarily wouldn't be in a regular lease agreement. Don't give out the code to the door to your friends, things of that nature. Don't give out the door code because you want to put door codes on everything. That way, if somebody don't pay their rent or something weird's going on, and you notice the person that you rented to is not living there, you could change the code at any given time. You don't have to change the whole doorknob.
I guess my question with that is, I think with co-living, you would probably want to, I don't know, just because I've never done it before. You would probably want to put people with maybe similar goals or personalities together.
Well, you can't give them a personality test to move in. However, you could ask them little different traits. Like, there's certain websites where you could build a questionnaire and you could get them to do a survey or a questionnaire, and then they could mark off what it is that they like. Oh, okay. What do you like? If they want to volunteer their religion, if they want to volunteer the type of foods that they eat or food allergies, because you can put people in the house together that have the same allergies. That way, that'll help. Little, do you like pets? Some people don't like pets at all. So you can find out their likes and their dislikes just from giving them a questionnaire. And you can put the questionnaire on the application, or you could put it on your website as just a pop-up or something of that nature where they see it and then they fill it out. Please fill out this questionnaire and you can find out what similarities some people have and what don't. Like, I like students because students, even if they're not alike, they got something in common. They all in school, it's temporary, they're around the same age group, same genre, 9 times out of 10.
First of all,
Now,
I don't know. I don't know about students. They get a little wild and rambunctious, and
not these students, because like these kids aren't like how we were when we were young. These kids are on their phones. If you notice, like when you drive down the streets, it don't even be no kids outside playing. I live in the neighborhood and it's a whole bunch of kids. And I saw some kids playing today and I thought something was wrong. Nah, they be on tablets, they play video games, they don't really have social skills. One of my sons had a dance and I went to the dance and wasn't nobody dancing. Or if they were dancing, they was dancing by themselves. They put the phone on the floor and they do little TikTok moves and they do little weird stuff and that's it. No, these new young people, they be sitting down and they be playing video games and stuff. They be online unless they was raised by their grandparents. Now, if they was raised by their grandparents, they could be a little cantankerous. Maybe.
you know what? I just went back and looked at these pictures, and it looked like it has an ADU in the back.
Oh, that's a
Let
bonus.
me send the link.
That's a bonus. See, to me, my humble opinion, I think you have a good deal, whether if you're going to do straight rental or rent to own. And I would approach a homeowner that way because to me, I would deduce based on what you're telling me that they are slightly motivated to do something, especially when they're making a payment every month for a property that they're not in.
Yeah.
That's the motivating factor here. And you could approach them by telling them you'll alleviate that number one factor, and that's that payment. The number two factor, I tell people too, you don't have to worry about insurance. You don't have to worry about the taxes. You don't have to worry about repairs. You don't have to worry about maintenance. Either way, whether you're going to rent it out as Constance suggested, which is a great suggestion how to do that, or if you're going to do rent to own. Either way, the thing is getting it from the homeowner, especially when you say there's an ADU, another property in the back.
I just dropped the link. Can you see it?
If there's another property in the back, that's it. There
I
goes.
just looked at it.
That's your bonus for the rent. Let me see if I can. I saw something pop up. Hold on a second here.
I kind of like Candace's idea. That will bring in more cash flow.
Yeah, cash flow is the key. Your initial outlay, what you have to do to keep the property going, your holding costs versus the cash in. If it makes sense, then it's a good deal. Okay, do you mind if I share this with everyone here?
Yeah, you can share it.
Okay, let me see if
it's a learning opportunity for everybody here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We appreciate this.
Oh shoot! Come on, Dan. Don't start.
Okay, folks, this is the property that she had shared with us. Looks decent. Says see all 25 photos. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. So is that the other property attached to it, or does the one?
No, that's the same property. If you keep going, you'll see something in the back. Looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I would question the realtor about the ADU if there's an additional unit in the back. It looks really nice inside. Look at these pictures, guys. Of course, it's, it's staged as they do to sell houses, how it would look with furniture in it, of course, which is a good idea.
I think that's when they were still there.
Oh, okay. But this gives you an idea of what living could be like here. And I'm telling you, folks, you'll get houses just like this.
Nicely updated.
You'll get some with the furniture too.
See,
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about back there. It looks
Ah.
like.
yeah, look, see, there's an AC unit there. That means probably for residential use.
Could be a workshop.
This door,
It could be
this door looks like a garage a little
a
bit.
garage, but I don't see an entrance to that, not unless it's.
Oh, the entrance
It's
is
a
right.
side door.
I'm talking about for as if it's the garage, as far as where they could drive up in there.
Oh, where the fence
you're
is
right.
at.
You don't
You're
Yeah.
talking about where the fence is at.
Unless you see here to the
There's a
left,
walkway there.
Yeah, I see that
left
right
this
there.
fence is, look like that
It's
fence.
just a walkway. It's not a, yeah, it looked like that was changed into, living quarters.
But if you look right here to the left, all the way to the left, you see those two doors. Look like there's a lock. You can open that and walk in this or drive to this driveway here. From the left all the way to the middle of the house. It's possible. I don't know. But bottom line is, that's a residential structure that could be rented out. It's got an AC unit. You can fix it up as a studio, 1 bedroom. I don't know if it has a bathroom. That's how it looks from the back, right?
Not unless they use it like as a workshop or something.
But there's another door on the other side. Is
No,
that the
that's to the
same
back of the
unit?
house.
Oh, that's to the back of the house.
Back
Because
of
the
the other
front
house.
door is yellow.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So that's the first house here, and to the right is the second unit. I think, yeah, it is a garage. I think it has potential because you could utilize that second unit as income to offset whatever you got to pay on the mortgage. And I try
If
to,
there's a restroom inside, because that'll get weird after a while if they have to use the restroom in the middle of the night
What
or
you said
something
that'll
like
get
that.
weird.
that is true. It has potential. So again, you doing your due diligence and finding out as much as you can on the property. So this is a potential one here, my opinion. However, the decision factor has to come from the owner, not the realtor, unless the realtor
Right.
convince them of your proposition. So the realtor obviously, most likely, but we can't never say, is not going to allow you to speak to them unless she's around, or you give her your full proposition and she passes it on. But I would like to speak to them. I would say, yeah, this is what I'd like to do. Can I speak to the homeowners? You want to talk to
If
them?
you decide to do renter arbitrage, I would get rid of all that grass and brush, and I would just make a rock garden, desert style. So it'll never grow again. So you don't have to really have any upkeep or have to pay anyone to cut the grass or anything like that.
Great piece of property. Potential is there. You just have to do your due diligence. So number one,
Efficient.
speak to the homeowner. Now, here's the thing. If there's a realtor involved, that's going to take away some of your upfront costs that you potentially could get, or you may have to come out of pocket because the realtor is going to want a percentage. Do you know what she's asking?
No, I don't know what he's asking.
Or he's asking.
Yeah, I had actually seen another property, and that one was no longer available. But he said, I do have this one that I'm trying to get rid of.
He's motivated too.
He's motivated. I said, okay.
So it would seem if you can give him some kind of compensation that wouldn't hurt you as much financially, and the owners were prone to do the deal with you, and you can inspect the property yourself because you say it's near to you, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I think you're a good judge of character, looking at things on the outlay initial, right? So I would go visit the property.
He said it recently when they did the reno on it, the renovations on it, they redid the foundation as well. But the certificate was not transferable.
Why?
I don't know. I asked
Is
him
there a
about
lien
the
on the
certificate.
property?
Huh?
Is there a lien on the property?
When you
No
say
lien.
okay, when you say the certificate was not transferable, which certificate?
When they do the foundation, they give you a certificate warranty
Mhm.
for the work that they do.
Right.
And he said he checked into it because the foundation was done when the house was renovated before they sold it to this couple. So I asked him, did he have a certificate for the warranty, and he said that it wasn't transferable.
Oh,
They can't transfer it to someone else.
That's what he said, because when he mentioned that, because even when I bought my house, they had the foundation done, but the certificate warranty was transferable to me. Not every company works that way, though.
Well, you could use that information that you got in your favor as a negotiation tool. Say, well, you know, I might be able to take this property, but it's going to be difficult. I can do it, but you know, that certificate can't be transferred. And I can make it happen, but I know my end buyers ultimately, what I'm going to do with it, they're going to want to have that warranty transferred. So you can use it as a negotiation.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would use every negative. That's not really a negative. Yes, to your advantage, along with the positive. So the positive is, hey, I can give you a 20 grand later on. And the negative, whenever you sell the house. So you're not saying next year, you're not promising, you're not making a date. So you're comfortable. If it never sells, guess what? They never get the money. Nothing you can do. 30-year mortgage, right? So
Yeah.
that is
So
the kind.
I would try to do, I mean, I would go ahead, because they like to use their own contracts. All you have to do is send over the verbiage of what you want them to include on their contracts.
That's because a realtor is involved, and that's pretty much standard. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I would just have to tell him that I'm willing to take this property over subject to, but with zero down, because they're already upside down. I'm not giving him any money.
So you're right. That's another negotiation. Say, you know, you're already upside down. I'm not going to make, you tell them, I'm not going to make no money up front on this. It's going to cost me
Exactly.
to acquire. Say just like that. But I'll take it off your hands. So your liability, I got. You know, just, yeah, say it like that. You have to flex it. That's why I'm saying the ultimate person who's going to make the choice is going to be the homeowner. I don't know if the realtor is able to convey exactly how you want to say it or we say it to the homeowner. They may or may not. They may be good. The realtor, if he's got an incentive and say, oh, I can get something out this deal.
Well, you know, you every once in a while you find those unicorns that they've worked with investors and wholesalers before. Then you got those that been realtor since 1949, and that's
100-year realtor.
They're straight by the book.
Yes. So you got to find out who you're dealing with. You're right. So this one takes a little bit of effort and think about it. Now, I'm gonna mention two things. What Constance talked about is a very good idea. The rental.
Okay, I wrote that down too.
The only caveat, it's not a bad caveat, is that you would still put yourself in the traditional situation where if any repairs, upgrades, anything has to be done to the property, that you would be responsible for them, come out of your pocket.
Yeah.
On this particular.
Yeah, but if I'm getting that much rent per room, then I will be able to put back 10% of the payments to validate, you know, to do that with.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what my mindset is.
Right. And that would be the prudent thing to do. So I was just pointing out that you would have to place yourself in that position where you'd have to use some of your own money that you save to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's how traditionally it's done. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I think that's pretty good. When we do subject to, and we do find a realtor involved, we do our best to contract the homeowners. We ask the homeowners, how long has the property been on, for sale on the realtor? Oh, 6 months, 12 months. Oh my God. You still under contract? Yeah. By the time homeowners contact us in a situation where they have a realtor involved, we simply tell them, look, after we do our due diligence real quick and assess the property, yeah, we can do this, but we can't do it with a realtor involved because you have a contract. So you'll have to have her sign off on that contract that it's canceled. And once that's done, you legally can make a contract between yourself and the homeowner.
I don't want to do that because he gave me the deal, saying, can you do something with this?
Right. So I'm not saying to do that. Number one, but that's a very good point. I'm not saying I'm saying, but traditionally when homeowners contact us, they have a realtor and we haven't talked to
the homeowner contacted you, but he could the property.
Right.
And the good thing about building relationships with realtors, when they have investment properties or they have things like this, they know who to contact.
They'll send you deals, right? So in a situation traditionally where the homeowner contacts you and we've never been in contact with the realtor, we would tell them to cancel that contract. We deal with them strictly. In
Because this house
situation-
been on the market for 89 days.
Right. So it's almost 3 months. So in this situation where the realtor contacted you, you're right. You want to develop that relationship with the realtor, because if you successfully do a deal and make it happen, that realtor is going to give you more similar leads, and they're probably going to be a lot of them. So that's going to be good networking opportunity for you as well. Mhm. So right now, at this point, I would have to do some more due diligence on the property. I'd go visit the property myself. Number one, take a look at that thing. See what's
Okay.
inside. Get a bird's eye view.
Constance, do you think this would work with a 1-bedroom? I'm just curious.
A rental arbitrage wouldn't necessarily work unless it's back east and there's a basement and you could rent the basement or the attic out or something like that. But I don't think that a 1-bedroom, it wouldn't really make sense. What makes it
No,
make
I mean 1 bathroom, excuse me. This house, 1 bath.
Talking about 1 bathroom for both units. Shared.
Yeah, everybody just have to take turns. And first come, first serve. Or has slots. Like somebody
Hey,
got the 6
I take
o'clock
I
a.m.
take 2-hour baths. You know what I'm saying?
7 o'clock a.m. That's your time to use the bathroom. 8 o'clock a.m. That's how we do it in our house, and we're a family. Everybody got certain times to use the bathroom. Eric and I, we got our own bathroom in our room. But the other parts of the house, there's 2 other bathrooms, and they got it figured out. Our sons got that figured out. So you got to put everybody in the time slot. You got to make it happen. You got to make it happen like Tupac made it rapping.
This is what I would do. If I market the house, if I take the deal, I would put that in there. Shared bathroom up front.
Yeah.
If that's an issue.
Shared bathroom, shared bathroom, shared laundry room. They know if they had the money, they would move into another spot. But being that they don't, then you want to market that because they need that room.
It may be family members too.
Maybe they don't have good credit. Maybe
I tell you
they're
what,
gonna have 3 or 4 times the
I don't
rent
want
somewhere
anybody in there with pets.
else.
And
Yeah.
I'm a pet person, but everybody don't treat the property the same when they have pets.
That's right. And especially if you're paying for all the upkeep and repairs and maintenance, you don't want pets, because you know how it costs to get that pet hair and all that dander and that smell out of there. Yeah.
And cat urine is terrible. It's
Yes. They mark their territory.
very concentrated of way above dog's urine.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about their urine.
Well, that's one of the stipulations that you put. No pet,
Yeah.
shared
And
bathroom.
You'll find them.
I
And then you
think
gotta make up your mind. Do you want couples, or do you just want one individual in each room, or do you want couples? Because that's the whole.
No, because they might start cheating on each other in there. I
It might be
that's your
drama.
business.
no.
Drama.
Constance and I think, and I think she'll agree with me, if that property was here, it would be gone. No problem.
Yeah, it'd be gone. No
Shared bathroom or
problem.
not, people would jump on
And that's
that.
popular here. If you go in the
But they'd have
Zillow,
a person renting that they know, a family member for the extra home, so it wouldn't be no problem to share the bathroom as if they were in the room in the house.
right?
I'm
On
gonna make
Zillow, though,
some-
if you look up on Zillow and you look at Arizona, you'll see that it's rooms for rent. It's popular here. It'll say 5-bedroom house, $1,000. Now it's not $1,000 to rent out a 5-bedroom house. It's one of those rooms in the house that's for rent.
We had a friend come to us and he was in a position where, he had behind in three payments. He wanted to do subject to, he wanted to keep the house. So he asked me what to do. So I took the house and I marketed it for him. We had to shut the phone lines down, but he rented all the rooms out and he's happy. He made the payments.
Why did you
However,
charge
he
$800?
understands that he's responsible for maintenance and repair. But then when I found out how he rented it out, it's mostly family. So that might work out. But family is sometimes they just as bad.
No, I can't do that with my family. I know I just cannot.
But the possibilities are endless. The
I
bottom line is,
like the idea though, and I didn't think about the concept. I do like the idea where you could do the questionnaire, so you could kind of find
that's an excellent
similar
idea.
people. I do like that.
Yeah, without being
Right, so
intrusive
you
and
can
finding
find out
out
like what
they're
type of
compatible.
people they are, what type of music
Yeah.
they listen to.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get some people in there to kind of listen to the same type of music, that's good too, because then they won't complain like the music's too loud or something like that, because they listen to the same
Yeah,
stuff.
you kind of too want the kind of the same age of people, I would think.
Yeah, and then like in different categories too.
What if
It's
you have
different
people who have
categories.
opposing lifestyle? What if someone smokes and the other one doesn't? You know,
Yeah, you gotta see if you want to make it a non-smoking house or a smoking house. I would say non-smoking.
Most deaf.
Yeah. But there's like
you have
little
people who
caveats
are
that you gotta, put in your
Democrats and
questionnaire.
Republicans, black and white.
Yeah, we could
Hispanic,
have Chat
Chinese.
GPT write you a questionnaire.
You
That's
got to
true.
find compatible people since they're going to be individuals with different, maybe ethnic backgrounds, cultural background. You want, yeah, that's important. You want no fights. Come back, see the house door up.
I gotta find out how much his commissions are on this house. Or what I want to try to do with him is negotiate on his commissions.
That's what I would do. He may be very motivated to say take something less because it's going to sit there. He might have to just cancel the deal if nothing happens. And you
Yeah.
want to go to him the same way you go to the homeowner. Hey, you know, I'll tell you what, I know this hasn't sold. No, you want to make it rather than walk away, cancel the deal. You take less, take this. We can make this happen. Barring the homeowner also wants the deal too, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell he was kind of stressed about it because he was like, can you see what you could do with this? Because I know the homeowners have probably been breathing down his neck because they constantly making the mortgage payments and they're like in a whole nother state up north. And like you said, they're paying for housing there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're motivated. He's probably motivated just as them. So you got two parties to work on. So now
he said they already know that they're not going to make any money off of the house.
Yeah. So dangle some cash. So if they're not going to make any money, let's take less money out their pocket. Then. I think they're pretty much motivated. You have to probably work on him because he's going to be instrumental in also convincing them that they're going to ask him. So what do you think about this deal that she told we want to do? You think it's okay? You can get him to say yes. They will go for it probably. Because like you said, they know they're not going to make any money. But if they walk away even, Steven, no money out their pocket.
Okay, so I think I've mentioned this to you before. I have another realtor. I don't know what these realtors just popping up.
Oh, they're all over the place. They're all in subject to here, all over the place.
Yeah, most because of Pace Morby. That's why.
Well, because they ain't making no money. I know personally.
A lot of them be on his Zooms. A lot of them, and they're educating themselves because they want to find out more ways they can work with investors.
That's right. That's the only way they're gonna make some money.
I mentioned it before, but this realtor is really trying to get rid of this property because the guy that's in the house, he's a veteran. He got PSTD really bad, and he wants to move. It's here in Texas. He wants to move to Oklahoma because they have a bigger community that supports veterans. You know, I'll be trying to get all the tea. I need to know all the tea.
Right.
And his house has been sitting there. The issue with the house, he's only been in the house, I think he's been there 2 years. I think she told me he's been all these 2 years and 1 year. So he don't have that much equity either. The only caveat is the HOA.
Well,
he's been in the house for 4 years.
To the HOA.
He's been in the house 4 years. I was finding my notes. The HOA wants their buyers, whoever buys the properties there in that community, they have to live in the house 2 years before they can do anything with it.
Wait a minute. The HOA wants the new occupants to live in the house,
in the property for 2 years
before they buy.
Before they can do, I guess it's before you can rent it out, before you could do any of those things.
Oh, so they want the current owners. They have to be
the current owner.
How long has he been there?
He's been there 4 years.
Oh, so he's good then, right?
he wants to sell a house. He's want peace out.
Right, but if they say they want him to be in there a minimum of 2 years, he's been there 4.
Whoever buys the property got to live in the property.
Right. So that means you shouldn't give it to an investor. You got to put a tenant buyer in there, right?
I'm asking you, I'm trying to figure out a way around that.
Yeah. Okay. So I know what you're saying because a lot of HOAs have stipulations. Number one, a lot of them that they can't be renters, that they have to be purchasers and they have to live in the property.
Exactly.
So that's what they're saying here. That's why I say when you have an HOA, it's like talking to a realtor. You got a third party that you got to deal with, and you got to see. That's part of your due diligence to see if that's going to work out, because you don't want to make a mistake and take a property subject to and find out that you run contrary to the HOA rules and regulations. Number one that we run into, no renters. Okay, they want homeowners, buyers. So if you present it as a rent to own, say, well, these people are buyers. They're renting and they're going to purchase. Here's the contract. Here's the lease option. Do it like that. We've done that successfully. We've had HOA trying to evict our tenants. So far, have we ever a tenant evicted yet, Constance? By HOA? No. So they fought us every time, but when we use the lease purchase as they're going to buy, then they were successfully not able to do that. But the bottom line is you have to talk to the HOA, let them know the position, and see what's going on. Let them know that this homeowner may absolutely foreclose if this doesn't happen. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to look at their bylaws and speak to them. See what the deal is. See what they're willing to do. They may be willing to put a person who's going to rent and purchase later rather than the straight renter, like it says in their bylaws. So I'd read the bylaws first. The homeowner has a copy of that. Ask him to see it. If you can see it, you can read it. Send it to you, download it to you. You read it yourself to see the stipulations on the renter versus ownership. If there's some play in there, some stipulation, and then contact the HOA yourself and see what they're willing to do. They may be flexible. How much is the HOA, by the way? Monthly, you know?
What did she tell me?
You want to make sure that doesn't eat too much into your bottom line that you'll make every month. We've taken over HOAs at $65 a month, some $250 a month. And if that's too much, you may not want to take it. All these are factors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd find out what the HOA fee is, number one. It's in a good neighborhood, nice neighborhood, decent neighborhood.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. HOA could be pricey. That's one of the due diligence and determining factors that we use when we're going to take a private HOA. How much is the HOA monthly? Is that going to eat into the bottom line? Will the HOA allow another occupant in it besides the original owner? Because they're going to find out. Usually, some HOAs, are non-intrusive. They don't even know the people after they move in. Never met them.
Oh Lord, now you might have a Karen in the neighborhood.
Yeah. See?
I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know you. I used to get
Where you come from?
Christmas presents and now who's this? Yeah, you never know.
They come bringing over baked cookies.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd have to deal with the HOA to see what you can do, and that would be a determining factor. If everything else pans out, that would be the number one thing there. And see what the deal is, because it sounds like the potential seller you got.
He got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath that was built in 2021. It's telling me the HOA fee is $33 a month.
That's a good price. That's a good price. $33 a month is manageable.
I was just trying to figure out how to get around the HOA.
You'd have to read their bylaws yourself. That's what we would do. So just like the things that we ask on the homeowner, let me get a copy of your deed, your mortgage statement, so I can go through all that. HOA, if you have one, I need to see the HOA bylaws. We want to read that and see what the HOA is saying, what we can and cannot do, what he can and cannot do. If it conflicts with anything, you have to speak to them. If not, it may not be a good deal because they can force you out.
Oh yeah, because in Texas, they can foreclose on your house. Yeah. I don't know about in Arizona.
No, not in Arizona. There's 4 states. No, not in Arizona. There's 4 or 5 states in the union out of the 50-something states that can. So there's not many.
Okay, I'll have the realtor to send me. I know she have a copy of the bylaws, HOA bylaws, and she does have the listing. And I review it and then see if they would take someone with lease option.
Yeah. And explain to them they're not just renters, they're gonna buy. That's what you want to. You want to keep saying the word buy. The people I'm putting in, they're gonna buy eventually, but it's gonna buy on terms. It could be 1 year, could be 2 years, could be 3, but you want to, emphasize that they're buying like a regular person would. They're not renting strictly, but they're renting with the intention to purchase, and that's what the contract says. They're gonna own this property, they're gonna have the deed, and see what they say. Mhm. Good deals. You got some potential deals here, so you got something to work on.
Yeah.
Let us know the
Seems
progress.
like I get the complicated ones. I just want something easy.
Oh, well, the easy ones will come as the financial debacle gets thick. They're gonna come, and you'll
But see, I couldn't remember with the lease option. That might have been a class that I missed.
Well, we're gonna
What
go
happened-
through. We'll
what
talk
happened
about
with the
lease
deed?
options in session number 11 or 10, 11 or 12, I think. It's gonna be anywhere after 10. We go into the lease options and the lease agreement.
What happened with the deed?
Well, you own the deed right now. So at the end of the term, if they're ready to purchase, they're gonna sign a regular purchase contract from you or your entity, and you're gonna sell them the house as if you were regular sale. That's what's gonna happen. And they get the
See,
deed.
that's the
They don't
thing.
get the
I
deed
think
now.
they want. If my LLC is going to purchase this property subject to, they're going to look at me as the owner and not the lease option person.
Who's gonna look at you as the owner?
HOA.
Well, if you put it in a trust, they're gonna look at your trustee as the owner. And if your LLC is the beneficiary of the trust, which you own, they technically gonna look at it like that too, but you let them know that you are the property manager for these people, because you're gonna have 2 documents. The limited power of attorney that says property manager with limited power of attorney, right? And then you're gonna have another document, because if you put, and this is an option, you can put the property in a trust, you have a trustee, your trustee is gonna sign the management agreement over to you, saying that you're just the manager of this property to get this person to rent to own for the former homeowners. And it's not uncommon. A lot of people have property managers for their property. So if you don't want to be construed as the owner to the HOA, that's how you present it. Now to your tenant buyers, however you want to present it to them is up to you. And they probably wouldn't matter anyway if they wanted the property, But yeah, so you got some homework to do, some good deals. So I hope you keep us up to date on the progress of this. We really would like to know how these work out for you and probably help you.
No, I'm be reaching out because I'm gonna need a little hand holding to go through this transaction.
Okay, well, reach out to us. We'd love to help you.
Once I walk through it one time,
Uh-huh.
then I'm good.
Okay. Are we never gonna hear from you again?
No, I see.
I
You got new students in here. Where they at?
Yeah, they here. We got a bunch of new students. I'm
I
messing with you.
see.
I'm messing with you. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Keep us apprised of what's going on, and call us individually if you'd like on one-on-one, and we'll walk you through that as well. And if you don't mind, in the upcoming sessions, anytime you have something new to bring to the table as far as these deals, let us know. It's a good training and informational, situation that you have that we love to share with people. It's okay with you.
I tell you what, when I was looking for a house, I told my realtor, find me any house that don't have a HOA associated with it.
Yeah.
Because I hate them.
They can be problematic.
They can. I just didn't want to live in one. You got weeds in your flower bed.
Yeah.
But
Or
I
you
appreciate
get
y'all
certain
help
shades in
tonight.
the windows, and it's just crazy. You're right. Yeah.
Constance, I'll be reaching out to you, Sugar,
All right.
for your help.
All right. Well, thank you, Mona. And I think Elias.
Somebody got their hand up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And thank you for that, Mona. We appreciate that information. Keep us posted. Elias had a question. Elias.
I was just wondering, so with the mortgage plan, I don't know, but this kind of made sense to me. Like, could you put it over, like, can you change the mortgage? Can you put it over 30 years instead of like, let's say if it was on 20 years or something like that? Because what I'm thinking of right now is if you put it over 30 years, that means that the mortgage rate to which you're gonna have to pay per month is gonna get lower. And if I then come around and I say, like you said your explanation earlier of, let's say if the mortgage is 2000 and you're asking 2500, but then I get to break that down over 30 years, and let's say now it goes down to 1300, that's a 700 extra that I get per month on top of the 500.
Sure. So what you're talking about is modifying the mortgage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you
You
allowed to touch
absolutely
that?
can do that.
Okay.
You can. However, you would have to do it. Well, you can do it at any time you want. See, once you're the owner of the property, you have the deed.
Pero modification.
Once you have that power of attorney, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you have that power of attorney, the power of attorney, when you see it, when we go through that section of the course, you'll see that it gives you a lot of leeway and latitude. It allows you to negotiate with the mortgage company, even though you're not on the mortgage. Allows you to ask for modification, allows you to sell, allows you to lease, allows you to deal with insurance, all that stuff. So you're going to see that we're going to ask you to ask the mortgage company, number one, particularly when you get properties that are behind in payments, to get a modification. If you can, you're going to ask them, do they offer modifications? Almost every mortgage company does. They have federal modifications and in-house modifications. So as part of that modification request, which typically just involves taking the payments and putting it in back of the loan and start from square one, you can ask for interest reduction payments. You can ask for mortgage reduction, that balance principal. You can too. Doesn't mean they're going to do it, but you can ask for that. Now, what you're saying is very intelligent to ask for, because what if you get a good subject to deal? That the mortgage is perfect, the interest rate is good right now, you're going to make $500 a month or more, everything is good, it pans out, this, that, and the other. But it has a variable interest rate, because some people do. That means right now it's good, but it may go up in 2 years, 3 years. What if it's 3% now and it goes up to 6% next year or the year after? That's when you would do your due diligence before closing on the property, to speak to the mortgage company to see if they are sympathetic to offering a modification of the current mortgage. Even though you're not on it, Elias, doesn't matter. Remember, you're representing the homeowner, and this is how you're presenting it to the mortgage company. I need to get a modification for my clients, this, that, and the other. Right now, they have a 3% rate or 2% rate, and they're paying $2,700 a month or whatever. I know it's going to go up to 6% because it's variable next year, the year after, and make it 35, whatever. Can we modify that? Otherwise, my clients are going to afford, they can't do, what can we do? So that would be a mortgage modification request. And that's what we would do in that instance, to get the mortgage modified to a substantial or comfortable interest rate. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the question. So if the rate is something that you're looking to get modified, then that's what you're going to ask for with the modification. But that's what the mortgage modifications are for. So you traditionally, Elias, would not sign the modification. Your tenant buyers would give you the information that's going to be required to the mortgage company so they can modify it. And they traditionally will have to sign it. That's how traditionally it's done. There's ways to get around that. There's ways that you can sign it, because we've done that too. But the bottom line is, you're absolutely right. If you wanted to fix those type of things to get a better payment for yourself, then part of the upfront due diligence before taking the property, during the stage where it's just under contract, before you decide to close, part of your due diligence is negotiate with the mortgage company that interest rate, if that's what you're interested in, to reduce the mortgage payment. Absolutely, you can do that.
Okay.
And
Thank
if it
you.
doesn't pan out, you could back out of the deal and don't close, or you can still accept the deal if it's still feasible financially. You're just trying to get a lower rate. Absolutely. But yes, you have the latitude to do that with that limited power of attorney. It is so powerful. We have a student who took the course subject to about a year or so ago, and I talked to her the other day. She called us, and she knows someone who was in a predicament of pre-foreclosure, and they were having problems, and she wanted to help them, but one of the parties on the mortgage was not forthcoming with the information, and they were the only person on the mortgage, but the wife was on the deed with the husband, but the husband was only on the mortgage, so he wasn't telling her everything. And I told her the only way that she can be certain of what's going on is to get the limited power of attorney. Like I told you, we taught her how to do this, and she didn't get it. So I drafted up the limited power of attorney for her, gave it to her. And when she saw the value, I said, now you can send that to the mortgage company. And now you can find out everything you need to know, even negotiate, because the person who's on the mortgage, he has a language impediment, okay? French, Haitian, so, they speak very, and he's the old timers kind, so their English is not good. Their understanding of mortgage infrastructure and dialogue and financial things is not very well. So he might not be able to relay the information to her or understand. So I told her she's the best one to do that. When she saw how powerful it was and what she could do, she said, oh my God, this is how I can, you can find out everything you need to know. So that's what you would use, that limited power of attorney, which we supply you with, and show you how to use that to get that modification done. Now, remember, when you're doing the modification, when you're presenting it to the homeowner, you're presenting it as you representing the homeowner, but you're really doing it for yourself because you're going to get that property when it's modified. You're going to own it. You're going to get that modification rate if it's successful, right? So you're really doing it for you, but when you're approaching the mortgage company, you're doing it for them. That's how that works. But yes, to answer your question, I know I'm long-winded. That's how you would do that.
Good.
And if that's your criteria, which is a good, valid criteria of accepting the property, if they're willing to drop that interest rate, and if they're willing to do it, I'll take the house, then so be it. But yes, you do have that latitude to do that, and you can use that as one of your due diligence criteria if you're going to accept the property or not. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Great questions, guys, and great comments. We really appreciate this. So if there's no other questions, let's go for one last minute. This is your last minute to hold question. We really went over time, but I'm sure you guys enjoyed this information that we've shared with one another. Okay. So I'm going to see no hands up, no questions. So we're going to end this recording here, this session, which is Q&A. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you piqued your interest and whatnot. And this is just a sign of what's to come. We have a lot of information that we're going to share with you, a lot of documents that we're going to share with you, a lot of information of how to market, how to deal with the seller, how to deal with the mortgage company, how to deal with tenant buyers, investors, all those good things that you need to know. All right. So we do appreciate you. And this will be made available to you today, Saturday, be made available to you Monday in your inbox. And you can review it at your discretion. So every video, every session that we do will be recorded. And with that said, if there's no other questions, we're going to bid you good night. Thank you so much. Your time is valuable. Peace and blessings. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.